On 2 News, military rapists and child molesters falling through the cracks. We expose hundreds of military sex offenders not appearing on public registries. Sex offender registries created to help keep your family safe. It's an investigation that's already prompted a multi-state manhunt. National investigative correspondent Mark Greenblatt exposes military sex offenders flying under the radar.
Army Specialist Basil Dwayne Kingsbury is part of a 3-state manhunt.
Right now, we don't know where he is.
The Army convicted him of rape and forcible sodomy. Sentenced to 11 years, he was back on the streets by 2005, but
He needs to register.
last June, Kingsbury was arrested at this South Carolina apartment complex for domestic violence. Deputies never knew he needed to register, so he was released. How could that happen?
That's unclear to me right now. I wish I could tell you. I really don't know.
The military has no power to register offenders on its own, relying on civilian officials instead. In an unprecedented review, the Scripps National Investigative Team looked through over 1,000 court-martial cases involving sex offenses, searching registries across all 50 states, discovering hundreds disappearing off the grid into neighborhoods across America.
Federal law requires civilian sex offenders to register before they're released. Not so for military sex offenders. The Department of Defense trusts the criminals to register themselves after they get out, when they become the problem of civilian officials.
The Army convicted Private First Class Zyman Casey for indecent acts on a young girl. He never registered after moving to Houston. Texas finds no record of being told he was coming, but Casey found a new victim. He's now serving 16 years in Texas for aggravated sexual assault of a child, which is why we went looking for this unregistered sex offender.
Have you found Basil Kingsbury yet?
Not yet.
You're looking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're looking.
He's Vernon Keenan, director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which had Kingsbury in its sights 9 years ago. In Georgia, he would have to register for life. But investigators mistakenly thought the military conviction was overturned, so they ruled he didn't have to register. They even sought clarification from the Army, but
We have no record of them responding.
Keenan now points to a recent report from the DoD's own Inspector General as fuel for reform. It concluded this August that not registering the military's own while still behind bars enables offenders to evade registration. The Pentagon acknowledges what it calls gaps and says it's developing a new policy to better notify states. As for registering military offenders before they're released, a senior defense official explained this is not one of our primary missions in life, adding in an era of budget cuts it could cost millions.
What would your message, Director, be to the Department of Defense if they don't embrace change on this issue?
I can't imagine they're not going to embrace change. I mean, this is too serious of a matter.
Now, the Pentagon has said repeatedly that it does not in any way condone what it calls the heinous actions of sex offenders. But here in the nation's capital tonight, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, Jackie Speier, is gearing up to step in. And meanwhile, Army rapist Basil Kingsbury, well, he's unregistered tonight still, and it could be in any neighborhood in America. Stephen, back over to you.
Mark Greenblatt at the Capitol tonight. Mark, thanks. And this investigation is still going on right now. You can see the rest of our Scripps investigation tomorrow on 2 News at 5. Well, mounting